Hello, my name is Blossoms and welcome to another Genshin Impact video. Today we're going over our main DPS and sub DPS Xinyan build guide, but before we hop in I wanted to apologize to some of my viewers here as I usually do my Monday stream and I had some things come up so I had to move my schedule around, so there was no Monday stream this week. There should be one next week, although I'm not entirely sure on my schedule then either, but we will see. And you know, as a little bit of compensation for you guys, I do plan on putting out quite a few videos this week. I'm going to try and pre-make a bunch and hopefully you guys enjoy those. But without further ado, let's go ahead and show off my main DPS slash sub DPS Xinyan build. So first and foremost, let's go ahead and show off the talent levels here. I have 6, 9, and 6. I have +3 from one of my constellations here. So that's why my E there is at level 9. And, you know, these are very reasonable levels. I try not to do my showcases with super high talents. I probably will in the future, but for the general build guides, I like to keep them at that lower level there, as that's a very reasonable level for most people to hit. And Xinyan here is pretty darn good as a main DPS slash sub DPS. I personally play her as a support, but I know a lot of you are pretty darn interested in that main DPS slash sub DPS role, so I decided I'd go ahead and get that for you. And one major thing to remember here when you're playing her as a main DPS is that her shield is going to be giving her that 15% increase in physical damage, which is very, very important, as, you know, the more you have your shield up, the more you're just going to be dealing damage. And as I said, I do have her at Constellation 3, and her C2 is very nice, but not too relevant on her main DPS side. However, something like her first Constellation here, increasing that normal and charge attack speed a little bit on crit hits, is very valuable, as well as her C4 here being very valuable, decreasing that physical resistance. Those will contribute big time for a main DPS slash sub DPS Xinyan. And moving on to the artifacts, I don't have the best artifact set on Xinyan, as I will tell you the best artifact set on Xinyan right now is probably going to be the retracing bolide set. If you have a good 4-piece retracing bolide set for Xinyan, he's going to be dealing major damage. However, my particular substats for a bunch of my retracing bolide set just don't quite fit Xinyan quite yet. So I decided to go ahead and go with the split set, and I would say this is probably the second best alternative for main DPS slash sub DPS Xinyan, where you're getting that 2-piece Gladiator's Finale as well as the 2-piece Bloodstained Chivalry. Getting that extra physical damage as well as the extra attack is very nice. However, there is still a really great alternative here. You could go 4-piece Gladiator's Finale. That is very close to the retracing bolide, as you will be getting that 35% extra normal attack damage, which is very valuable, as opposed to, you know, the retracing bolide giving you the 40 while you have a shield, which is very nice. And the thing I really like about the retracing bolide set on Xinyan is that it gives her shield strength and you get the normal and charged attack damage increase. And Xinyan has a very weak shield, so getting that 35% extra shield strength is super great for her. And then, of course, the extra damage on the normal and charged attacks is really great. However, I'm going to show you that this 2-piece split set, if you have good substats, can go ahead and keep up with, you know, very decent versions of those. It's pretty wonky, actually, and we'll actually show off some of the damage numbers of those sets just to give you guys an idea of how you don't really need to worry about the set bonuses nearly as much as you should probably be worrying about the substats of the artifacts. But for the main stats for the artifacts, we have attack percent, physical damage bonus, and crit damage here. This is kind of what I'm rolling with. I am lucky enough to have a little bit of good crit rate and crit damage substats here on some of my gear, as well as some defense percent substats that are allowing me to ignore going for a crit rate piece. If I didn't have such a good crit rate substats, I would have to go for a crit rate piece. You just need that consistency, in my opinion. And other great substats to shoot for are obviously the crit rate and crit damage. Those are always the best substats. And then things like energy recharge are going to be valuable, especially since she's going to be on the field a lot. She'll be getting most of the orbs, and the faster you get her Q, the better. But defense percent is also going to be helping you out just a little bit, since her shield does scale off of defense percent. Being able to keep that shield up is going to be very valuable because it's going to be increasing that physical damage bonus, as we mentioned before. Other substats you can look for are definitely things like attack percent. Those always help for sure. Nothing too crazy on Xinyan. You're probably just going to be wanting to look for a little bit of defense percent, but other than that, you're just going to be wanting to shoot for the usual crit rate, crit damage, and attack percent with a little bit of energy recharge. As for weapons for a main DPS Xinyan, you've got a couple options here, and I don't think any of them are really bad, but I've personally settled on the Snow-Tombed Star Silver. I wasn't sure just how good it would be until I actually spent some extra time this week to go ahead and level it up all the way to 70, the same type as my prototype Archaic here, just to test out the difference between the physical damage bonus substat and the attack percent substat. And I gotta say, the physical damage bonus substat is doing better. But if you don't have either of those, White Blind is actually a pretty good option for a main DPS slash sub DPS Xinyan, as it's going to be increasing your attack and defense by, you know, however much percentage based on your refinement, and it'll be giving you that defense percent, which is going to make your shield stronger. So if you're like me and maybe you don't have retracing bolide, this is an option you might want to consider, as it will be making that shield stronger. And then one last option that I personally don't recommend, but could be pretty fun for some of you, is something like the Favonius Greatsword. It has that energy recharge substat, and since you are going to be normal attacking a lot with Xinyan, then you are going to be hitting those crits and generating that energy. So that's going to be a way to make sure you're getting our elemental burst as much as possible, but you definitely will be losing damage on a main DPS Xinyan if you're going for something like Favonius Greatsword over something like the Snow-Tombed Star Silver or Prototype Archaic. And then obviously if you have some 5-star Claymores, all of those are probably going to be better on Xinyan than any of these 4 stars for a main DPS build. And then if you have literally none of these, then I'm going to tell you Skyrider Greatsword here, the 3-star, ain't a bad option. It's got physical damage bonus, and it increases your normal and charged attack damage, which is pretty darn good. If it wasn't a 3-star, I would actually probably be using this over the other current options, as its little passive here is really strong, and it's got that delicious substat. I don't know why I said that. As for my stats on Xinyan here, I have kept her at the level 69, so you guys could pair with my support Xinyan for those of you interested. Got that 1577 attack, as well as 36.1% crit rate and 164% crit damage. Obviously, I want to get that crit rate up a bit more, and definitely something like the energy recharge up a little bit more. And then when you come down to my physical damage bonus, you're going to notice I have 101.8% physical damage bonus, and that isn't even the cap, because if you didn't notice, my physical damage cup isn't even leveled all the way. So that is very interesting, and I'm going to show you guys why in just a moment. Now we're going to go ahead and show off a little bit of the differences in the set bonuses here. And personally, I thought not having something like the retracing bullet set was going to be insanely detrimental to a main DPS or sub DPS Xinyan. And I do think it's the best set, don't get me wrong, but if you have substantially better substats in other sets, then probably go with those. But anyway, let's go ahead and show off the 2-piece Gladiator and the 2-piece Bloodstained Chivalry first. We're going to be testing these all out on hill trolls just so, you know, it stays consistent. So you see we're doing 4300s here. Little 2Ks on the non-crits, you know, 1500s, 5Ks on some of the hits here. Depends on the modifier for the hits, right? 6K on that hit. And you notice those are pretty darn good numbers. So let's go ahead and check out one of the other sets. All right, and here we are with the 4-piece Gladiator set. And you will note my attack did go down a little bit. That's just a substat difference there. And the only other differences are that I have better crit rate and better crit damage. But I did lose almost 25% physical damage bonus there, or exactly 25% physical damage bonus there, as we don't have the 2-piece Bloodstain anymore, and we're only rocking the 4-piece Gladiators, but we will be gaining that 35% extra normal attack damage, and let's just see how valuable that is. So rolling up on some more hill trolls here, you'll see we're hitting 4Ks again. It's about the same damage, really. We're not doing too much different in terms of damage. Had to get the ult there. You notice the ult there was 11k, and I will note that the ult is 17k when we do that with the 2-piece Bloodstain. So those are things you definitely want to consider when you go ahead and pop her out. And finally, we're going to show off the retracing bolide set here, and my stats have changed quite a bit. We are keeping around that 1500 attack, but we lost a lot of crit damage, as I have to have a crit rate piece with this set if I want to even get close to 40%. So until I get better artifacts, then I won't be able to use my retracing bolide. However, I am keeping around 84% crit damage, which isn't too bad, but you will notice the difference in the numbers. So let's go ahead and check that out. Alright, so showing off the retracing bullite here on some more hill trolls just so we have a good idea. And you notice we're hitting in the 2000s rather than the 4000s. And that's quite a bit of a difference. And we'll even get the shield up here so we get that extra bonus. And we do start hitting in the 3k, which is nice. So you can imagine once you really get the retracing bullite, good substats, then you're going to be doing that much better. And we did hit close to 4k there, but we aren't hitting those 5ks or 6ks. So you can see how the set bonuses don't really matter as much as your substats are going to matter. And you know, what kind of video would it be if we don't bully one of the flowers? So of course we're going to bully the cryo red sign today, switching it up from the pyro, you know. I mean, we are testing out Xinyan, so we know probably switch up the elements there. See if we can get everybody's ults real quick. There we go. That should bring Xinyan there, and perfect. Go ahead and get some normal attacks in here, and look at that. And we pretty much almost took him down there. That was really close. I mean, he's dead. We didn't have to bring him down a second time. So that was pretty darn good, and I imagine that would be super easy if I just get her normal attack, you know, above level 6. So there's a pretty good showcase there for you for a main DPS slash sub DPS Xinyan. And not to mention our weapon's only level 70, by the way. But anyway, yeah, that's going to be it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and hopefully I was able to illustrate the differences between the different set bonuses and how they don't really matter as much as you might think, and that it's more in the substats. However, I will say retracing bullet is definitely the best, but don't sweat it too much if you've got some other good artifacts. Anyway, as I said, it's going to be it from me. I hope you guys enjoyed, but I'll catch you later. My name's Blossoms, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. Peace.